positive day. I am pretty elated. Is that the right term? Is that another good term for excited? I'm trying to not say excited so much. Apparently that's a go-to word for me, but I'm very ecstatic to be able to start our mini garden. I've been wanting a garden for quite some time. Right now, being in Texas, we are zone 8, and I don't know what Arizona was, Phoenix area, but it's really hot and not a lot grows there very well. So things like herbs and things that like I eat that I want to have fresh and I can just take from my own garden is really hard to plant because they're very temperamental, especially things like basil that I use a lot. So I've tried many times, usually have to keep it indoors. I'm hoping that with Texas, I can be able to have a little bit more of a garden because it does get a little bit cooler, definitely more windy where we are, a lot more rain, and it is a lot sunnier and it has some humidity in the air, things like that. So it's not super dry. My basil, when I worked in a garden center, they actually needed us to water the basil and the herbs itself 3 times a day in the summer because it was so hot. So really hoping now that the winter is finally gone, because we do have a later winter here. So about February 1st or so, we'll actually get a little bit of snow, a little bit icing. If you haven't seen my past videos, I showed you a little bit of that. But now that that is gone, we can start doing some more spring things and getting the garden going. So because I'm on the 3rd floor, I am just a balcony, so I'm kind of working around it, having some overhanging planters, and I want to have a lot of herbs and vegetables and citrus fruits and stuff. So I'm keeping it minimal right now. Hopefully in the future we will be getting into a house and I can have an actual full garden. I'm hoping to bring these plants, if they do well, with us when we leave. So I'm ready. I'm ready for spring. I'm ready for the cold to be over. It's actually a pretty warm day today, about 82 maybe. Yesterday 77. So it's been warm. The whole week looks warm, so I'm very excited and ready to take you along this journey and look back at it later and be just as excited as today because it's beautiful and it gives me life. So I hope it gives you life. Okay, so before we get started, I wanted to show you what we have. So right now, what we currently have going is just a few houseplants. As you can see, these Pathos or Devil's Ivy are doing fantastic. They are vining plants, and I just let them hang down right now. Once we are in a different space, I actually took these from Arizona too. So they did get a little bit scorched when we moved. I did not cover them properly, but they are clearly doing a lot better now, so that's great. But when we get another place, I want to actually put them kind of up on the ceiling and kind of vine out and look really pretty when I can hang these from the ceiling. This pot is actually trimmings that I took from that plant, so they are doing good. They are growing and having new producing buds, which is fantastic. And then I did another trimming recently, and that's these babies. So they're currently gathering their roots, and you can see my fertilizer pellets in the bottom. I've got those. And then over here, this one is a fishbone cactus or a zigzag cactus. There's a couple different names for it, but it loves the sun. There's a lot of new growth here coming in, and these are fuzzy. So they look a little prickly, but they're not. It's called a cactus, but it's soft. And then this one is a parlor palm, little mini kind of palm tree. So really cute, very simple to have. It definitely has its good and bad days. This one's nice and big. It's also called the Ninda Bella palm or something, however you pronounce it. And it does have a new growth coming in right here. You can see that. And then this guy is old. So I just keep trimming it up and hopefully it stays good. Has a little bit of overwatering, I believe, is what these tips are, but doing good, getting tall, which I love that. So that's what I currently have. My plan is, so I've got this adorable Hufflepuff notebook that I'm going to use for my garden. I've got some quotes here and some flowers because I'm using it all for the garden and inspiration and any notes that I take and research that I do. So these are a bunch of things that I kind of wanted to start with. So I put a check mark for the ones that I've laid out where they're going to go in the balcony and what pots and things like that. And then the future is just more things that I want to eventually have when we are in a bigger space. Also, I did a little bit of a sketch. This is a fake grass patch that I have that was left over from my mom's backyard renovation. So I use that to bring some greenery and life in the space right now. And then these are going to be pebbles, white pebbles that I have from decorating my last apartment's balcony. Lemon and lime tree. I'm looking at doing poppy or dahlia. These are going to be for the bees and pollinators. And then I've got milkweed for the butterflies because they do tend to migrate here between spring, summer, and fall. And then lavender, that's going to be good for hopefully helping me sleep, but also I read that it's good for hummingbirds, so that's good. Thyme and rosemary, red leaf lettuce for salads. Thyme and rosemary is for our steak dinners that my boyfriend Daniel cooks us all the time. Mini bell peppers and green onions. Grape tomatoes or cherry tomatoes, or however you call them, just tiny tomatoes. I need to find some of those because I use those a lot in everything. Basil and cilantro, also use those fairly often. Asparagus, I'm hoping that goes well, but I do eat a lot of that. And then jalapenos. And then I want eucalyptus, which is just good for you. So having that in like your shower for the steam, it really emits the oils in the plant. So that way you can use its benefits. And then black pepper, I found out that would be super cool to have. So that way we can put it in our grinder and have fresh black pepper. And then strawberries, because I use those to make fruit leather and smoothies, and if I ever have pancakes, stuff like that.
I know it's gonna happen. These dreams, they are for chasing. Don't stop, we got to keep racing. Oh, so come on, dare to be a dreamer. Dare to be a dreamer. Dare to be a dreamer. Don't let go. In your heart, you know you're strong and you're brave enough. It's your time. You were made to fly. Never ever giving up.
Now this is the space we're going to transform. So we're keeping it simple with just using some beach chairs we already have for seating. It's really nice to sit out here and just enjoy nature and the birds chirping. I have more of these lights in the corner and I've got them strung up here. So they're really nice for a little bit of cute string lighting. But these ones are going to go up and go all the way around and something like that. So we'll have more of those and they'll be super cute. And then have some of those hanging planters here. And then the tall trees, maybe there, but they do love a lot of light. So I might put them here instead. I just don't want to block the door, so I do have a bit of room there. And then this is the faux grass. I'm going to push up in the corner since we do have this big gap here. I can't put any stones right there. I've tried looking up some ways to not have that, but they were all like full shields. I don't want to do that. Artie loves looking at it, people. So I like to let her do that. Right here we'll put the stones, and they're white stones, so it'll look really nice with the grass. I did that in my old apartment. But this is our space. It's pretty big. We'll have lots of room for our garden. So I am in front of the nursery right now. I'm super excited to go in. I'm gonna go see what they have to see if I can get some things from there instead of having to order anything and wait for that to come in. I'm just excited to get started and do things.
I know it's gonna happen. These dreams, they are for chasing. Don't stop, we got to keep racing. Oh, so come on, dare to be a dreamer. Dare to be a dreamer. Dare to be a dreamer. These dreams, they are for chasing. Don't stop, we got to keep racing. Oh.
Okay, so I just got home and I thought I'd show you what I got. So I would, all considering, I would say that was a win because they definitely have a lot of options. When I have a bigger garden, I definitely want to get some of those adorable little magical fairy decorations that you put in the garden beds. Those are very cute and I would love to have those. But right now we're just gonna make our little mini garden magical with the things that we have in there, and I cannot wait. So I didn't get any of the herbs or the vegetables or fruits besides the trees. I just got the trees because they had options, but it was a lot of options, so it was a little overwhelming, but also I don't have the pots to put them in or the overhanging balcony planters to put them in yet, so I don't want to risk them dying or, you know, being too exposed or anything right now. I definitely want to wait till I have the proper stuff. So with the trees, I think that they're resistant, they'll be fine to get out there and start growing. Let's start with the lime tree. So it is a key lime tree, so a little smaller than I wanted, but I use a lot of limes, so I thought this would be really smart. I did my research and they usually grow up to 6 feet as a dwarf lime tree. I'm hoping that with the pot size that it gets in, of course the roots will stop growing, so hopefully the height will stop, and or by the time that it actually gets to that height, we'll be moved into a house, hopefully, and I can just transfer this over there. But right now, I mean, I've got a lot of room on our patio height-wise, so I think it'll be fine. So I've got a thornless key lime, and then I have a improved Meyer semi-dwarf lemon tree. So we'll see. But with my research, the citrus tone organic fertilizer for the lime and lemon trees was the best way to go. So I got a little bit of that. That'll keep me going for a while. And then when I get the herbs and vegetables, I have the Garden Tone herb and vegetable food, organic. So that way we can give the fertilizer to those as well. I have some indoor plant fertilizer pellets that I love. I don't remember where I got them. Maybe Amazon. I got some wild bird food. So it's not specific to any type of bird. It just is all sorts of different nuts, and it says specifically finches, sparrows, juncos, cardinals, towhees, quail, doves, buntings, and others. So we have a lot of doves that like to sit on our balcony, and I'm hoping to attract them more by giving them some food. So I've got that. To go with that, I have a bird feeder. So something very simple, because we are on a balcony, I don't really have a lot of areas. I could hook it on the railing, but I'm afraid with wind and stuff, it's just gonna blow around. This is just a plastic one in case it does drop or anything. So my plan is to not use this hooking, but to use zip ties and zip tie it close together onto the railing. And I'm hoping that will keep it locked in. And it's just got little areas for them to stand and feed through. So the seed will go in there and they'll have plenty to eat. And then I got this cute little watering mister because the citrus trees love humidity. And I don't know how humid it really gets in Texas. So we definitely have some humid days and we do get a fair bit of rain, but I haven't had a summer here yet. So I thought I would get this little mister. It's so cute. And this can also help me with the indoor plants if they just need a little bit of water. And last but not least, I got a propagation station. That's what it's called. So anyways, yeah, it's just a long glass tube that you would put your trimmings of your plants. So with my Pathos or Devil's Ivy, whichever one you call it, they produce a lot and they're long, and so I'm constantly trimming them to keep them from touching the ground and laying on the ground so my Roomba doesn't eat them. So with having these little propagation stations, I'm very excited. It's just minimal and simple. It goes with our style, and I've been looking for one for a while and I like this one, so that's super cute. And that is going to keep them upright, and right now they're just in an empty clear Starbucks container, so that way I can see how big the roots are. So that's going to help a ton. But that's my little mini haul. Another day. My hair is all over, but I just went to Home Depot and got some more things that I needed. I also got a plant for inside just out of the whim, but I'm really excited to get started, and I got some potting soil and stuff so we can actually start planting them now. And I have to wait for my Amazon order to come in to get the lights up. I'm about to head home and we can start potting and planting. And I didn't get everything that I wanted when I went to the nursery. They don't have a fourth of what I wanted, really. So I'm just going to go with what I have now, just since I'm just beginning. I don't want to start too hard and do anything too much. Anyways, the weather is beautiful. It is a perfect day to be outside, and it's gonna be, roughly 80 or so. It's really cool right now with a little breeze, so very, very nice weather. Also, the lighting right now, pretty good, just not gonna lie, so that's awesome. Anyways, we are going to go home get started. I also want to get the rocks that I used at my old apartment from the garage and put those out. So we've got some things to do today, and then we'll have to get back once the Amazon order comes in. Okay, so I'm back home now. I just got back from Home Depot, and I got an Amazon order that I did not do a haul on, so I'm going to show you it now. But I got these really cute planters that actually hang up on the railing of your patio. And you're going to hear all the little birdies, and I love it so much. It's like 70 degrees, beautiful. So I got the plants at the nursery for what they did have, and I put these little planters up. I also got some of these self-watering things for when I go on vacations and things like that, so that way it will all be watered. And I got little ones too. And also I'm gonna get some paint and paint these little rocks for whatever is in the planters, so basil and parsley and whatever. And I'm gonna paint them. And then I'm going to make these, actually paint these as well to match. So they'll just have a bunch of leaves on it kind of thing. I thought that'd be super cute. At Home Depot, I got some potting soil. I got some black mulch, sand, because a little bit like thyme, like kind of sandier soil. So I'm going to mix some sand into the soil. So what the nursery didn't have that I am just going to go without right now, and just maybe do later, is unfortunately milkweed, which I really do want to find some of that for the butterflies, because we do get a lot of butterflies around the field. But I know pollinators also really like lavender, so I have that. We also did not get eucalyptus, black pepper, strawberries. So there's a couple things that we're missing, which is totally fine. Rather start off less ambitious, because I always start very ambitious. So I figure what we're going to start with is I brought the rocks up from the garage, and I want to line this empty space because my fake grass is not big enough to fit the whole space. So I want to line the back patio with the white rocks. So I think we're going to start with that, and then we can get into actually planting, putting the mulch in. I also got these little trellises from Amazon, so I'm hoping they're a little smaller than I thought they would be. I didn't look at the measurements, so that's my fault. But I think they're going to do the job to hold everything up while they're babies, and then I'll probably get some bigger ones if I need to, if they get too big, because the strawberry or the tomato plant is little grape tomato, so hopefully it won't get too big, but we'll have to wait and see. I also got this cute little watering can, and I thought it'd be really cute to paint like flowers going up on them to make it a little cuter. And I got these black canvas bags. They're planters, but they're fabric planters, so they're really good for aerating your soil and not letting it get overwatered, so the excess water can drain out. So I got those for the bigger plants like the trees, and it'll be okay leaking because it's on the patio. And of course I'll make sure nothing is falling into the neighbor's area. But these are the rocks that I'm telling you about that we're going to line the patio with. I have gloves on, so I don't have garden gloves yet, but they're just white rocks that I got from my last place, and it looked really pretty, especially with the white planters. Having this lined I think will be really nice, and it just kind of takes that dead space away from where the faux grass is not. Okay, so that rock was not nearly enough. I think I used 4 or 5 bags in my old place. If I can find a picture, I'll put it up. But yeah, it lined up until the grass stops. So I'm not mad. I tried to do 1 layer and I had to keep making sure that the door would fit, you know, open and close with it there. So mainly the small rocks are here. But this works out. It adds something. It's not bare now, and I like that. Okay, I think it's time that we start planting. So I have these aligned as far as what needs the most sun, because the ones over here will get a little bit more sun than over here. We only usually get direct sun because of how big the buildings are for a couple hours in the middle of the day, usually around 5 p.m. or 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. or 3 to 6 or something. So you don't get too much, which worries me for these because most of them are direct sun for 6+ hours. So we'll see how those go. Since I'm missing a couple of the plants I wanted to get, I'm going to separate these. A few of them are companion plants that I was going to plant together, but since I have the space, I'm just going to give them as much room as I can, and hopefully that means that they'll thrive better as well, or grow bigger, spread out more. Since these are fairly small, they're just 2x2s or so, I might get a second one if they're doing well, if I'm keeping them alive, and do a second one in each pot, because that will work. But the rosemary, the thyme, and lavender should be good as they are, because they're more bushy plants. So I'm going to look at my notes of all the research I did and see what needs what. Certain things may need a little bit of sand in their soil. Certain things may want, a lot of them, probably all of them, will want mulch on top. Bless you. So having the mulch on top is going to help regulate the soil, keep it moist if it's something that wants a little bit more moisture. And then I've got a big bag of potting soil, so let's get into it. I'm going to start with the lime and lemon tree. Specifically, I got a Meyer lemon, which is a little bit sweeter than a regular lemon, a little bit rounder. And I got a key lime tree. I have the research on them, so we shall see how they go. They'll take a couple of years to actually start producing fruit, so I'm not expecting anything right now. They're just going to be moved from one house to another. So let's take these out. I'd like to start composting in the future. I've got everything that I pretty much need right now. Composting will take a little bit for me to learn and to get correctly. So that'll be a great way to utilize our scraps and just not throw them away. We can use them in the garden, and that will help give more nutrients to the plants as well. The mulch will also prevent weeds. So regulates moisture and prevents weeds. Pretty much everything says to put mulch on top, so I think I'm going to do it on everything. I'll look at the notes each time just to make sure I'm doing it right. But it's all coming together. It's very cute. I'm excited. I just got a moisture control potting mix, so it just has some help for me to not overwater or underwater, and then of course the mulch too. So I'm definitely not a professional. I can barely say I'm a beginner. I'm just winging it, doing as much research as I can, but in a way winging it, trying to see what sticks and what doesn't. Beautiful roots. All right, here's our beautiful lemon tree and lime tree. So I have mulch in the lime tree. From my research, that's what it wanted. But researching it for the lemon, because I didn't find anything saying to mulch it, I looked it up and it says for citrus trees not to mulch because they could get foot rot, and there's no cure for that. So I'm confused. I'm leaving it on this one, not putting it on this one. And it also says to leave the crown of the roots, so just at the very top, exposed. So that's what I did. And I need to water it from all the dry new soil. But these are the babies. So the lime tree came with this, which tells me a bunch about the lime tree. And it does say in the planting instructions to use mulch. So I am happy that I have this. It does not, the lemon tree didn't come with one. So yeah, we'll just see how the lemon one goes and obviously learn as we go. All right, I just had a lunch break. I needed some nourishment. I'm kind of fighting a food coma, so there's that. But I want to finish this for the day and get the fertilizer in the things that get finished. We might not finish all of the plants because I'm only left with that much soil after the 2 trees, but I do have this little bag too that's left over of the same stuff. Soil. Always need a lot of soil. That is a big thing. Good morning! It's another morning. I'm super excited because I just got back from the farmer's market. So I thought I'd show you because it's mainly vegetables, greenery, and I did get a plant, so it fits to show you. But I'm very excited. I've been wanting to go to the farmer's market for a while and actually get a lot of stuff. So hopefully you don't hear the dog outside barking. But I got a big, beautiful head of red leaf lettuce. So that's super exciting. It's giant, amazing. I'm gonna wash all this. They kind of thought I was crazy because I kept saying no bag. But I have this big reusable one that I use for shopping at the store. So I'm just gonna rinse everything off and clean it up. So I got that. I also got Artie some dog treats. So these are dehydrated chicken and dehydrated beef jerky treats. So she loves them. And then the plant I got is a strawberry because the nursery didn't have any strawberries, and I use strawberries a lot. This one gave me a bag. So I'm gonna plant this. It already has a little floral on it, and super excited to see how this turns out. I'll give you a show of how the garden's been doing because it has been about a week or so. I got a bag of mixed green lettuce. So it's got spinach and red leaf lettuce and arugula, and I'm not even sure exactly all it has, but it's a good mix of colors and vegetables for salad. I got some asparagus, which are honestly pretty tiny. Little itty bitty asparagus. I don't know what plural is for that, but they're really cute, and I eat a lot of asparagus, so that works for me. And then one of them that insisted to give me a bag is snap peas. So some are green and some are purple. And I will just dip those in ranch as a snack, or I can put them in my salad. I still have to go to the grocery store. I'm going to write down everything that I got and kind of make a meal plan from that. So it's really exciting to go on a Saturday and have to get groceries the same day. The only other thing I got was these little Delanco crisps. So it's bread crisps, and I figured either with olive oil and balsamic vinegar or put some tomatoes on it, make like a bruschetta. This would be perfect. It's healthier than fried chips. So that is my farmer's market haul. We're gonna add the strawberries in with everything, but first, let's run over to Home Depot. I need to get some potting soil, some more potting soil, and bird feed. So my birds ate the birds ate all of the seed that I had already bought them. So I'm gonna buy some more. And the Amazon order I was waiting for did come in. So it was just these tiny little command strip hooks that I'm gonna use to put the lights out on the balcony and put more of those out. So let me show you these. So this is what they look like. They're just little hooks that you can put the lights through right there. And then you break these off and add one of the little sticky pieces, and it'll stick outside. Oh, and one more thing I forgot. I got homemade dried pappardelle noodles. So we use these noodles a ton with steak and Alfredo. So my boyfriend Daniel makes a really good steak Alfredo, and he uses pappardelle noodles with his Alfredo sauce. So I found these homemade, and I thought, let's give them a try. So that's exciting. Okay, now to Home Depot. Okay, it is another beautiful day. It's about 71 high today, so it's about 65 right now or so. And you're gonna hear all the natural noises. And I'm sorry to my neighbor if they can hear me because they have their door open. But there is landscapers at the apartments doing a bunch of touching up for spring, which is great. I'm still using disposable gloves, which I hate, but I have them. We use them for meat and stuff sometimes, so we're not like washing our hands and all that all the time, but I need to get some reusable garden gloves. I do want to show you. I have a green onion plant. It's kind of hard to see in the light, but it's doing beautifully. So I actually bought a green onion at the store, and then I planted it, and I trimmed it right here on the bottom here. That's where I trimmed it to harvest it, and it sprung up so quickly, so it's doing great. So hopefully the noise isn't too loud out here. I totally forgot to get bird seed when I went to Home Depot, so I'll have to go back later. But I've got our mulch, I've got our potting mix, and I've been saving eggshells so that way I can put that in the soil for extra nutrients as well as a fertilizer. So let's start planting these and get this finished, and then we'll get the lights up. And I also have to show you some planters I got for the inside, big long ivy plants. So let's start with the gardening.
I don't gotta worry about a single thing. I can feel the light coming down on me. Sunshine on my face. I got sunshine on my face. I don't gotta care in the world right now. Higher than the ceiling, breaking through the clouds. Sunshine on my face. I got sunshine on my face. Yeah. I got sunshine. I got sunshine. I got sunshine. I gotta let you know, it's so incredible. I'm finally letting go. Up, up and away, yeah we go. I found my flow right on time.
So if you noticed, I have to be really careful with the cilantro because we have some very baby little new growth right there and there. So I was very careful with them. Also, I put some stickers on my watering can. I'm not sure how long they'll last or how good they are with water or anything, but it made my watering can look a little bit cuter, spunkier. Let me show you the inside, the new planters that I got. So let me show you what I got, if you can see, but these little planters I got off of Amazon, and so they're white plastic with the black chain, and it's a self-watering, so you actually, there's a little stand inside there that holds the plant up, and then you pour the water in right here instead of on top, and so the bottom is full of water and it self-waters for a while. I'm not sure if I'm going to use that or whatever. I just wanted the planter, but they look so much nicer in the white planter, specifically with our color scheme instead of the store-bought terracotta color. So I need to get those planted properly in there as well. So let's do that, take a lunch break, and then get the lights up. So I'm so ecstatic to have this completed, and everything's looking great. The tomato plant is getting taller, the cilantro is getting fuller, so everything so far is doing really well. And we just had a couple of cold front days where it was 50s, 60s high, so low was probably low 50s, maybe 40s. So I actually had brought the plants inside. One thing I don't like about the planters that I got outside is the hooks that hook onto the outdoor railing do not like click into place very well, so they're not held on really hard. So if I lift them up, every once in a while one may fall, and one actually fell off my balcony and I had to go all the way downstairs and get it. But yeah, we're just gonna get the lights up and I think we're done. Alright, we're gonna get these lights up now. It is actually not the last thing that we have to do. We also have our little DIY project where we are painting the little rocks as the name tags of the vegetables and plants. So that's really cute and exciting to do. We're gonna do that later, but let's just get these up. I'm not tall enough and I'm on my own today, so I do have a counter stool I'm going to use to step on. Don't worry, I'll be careful, but I use it all the time. I really need to get like a three-step ladder. But anyways, we're going to get this up and then we'll be done outside. Alright, I have changed because outside the sun got really hot and I was nasty. So I changed and now we are going to finish the garden with our little DIY. So just making these things look a little cuter, the little self-watering globes. And then I've got little stones for us to use as the plant labels, which is super cute. So I'm going to start by making a list of what I have out there that needs labels, and then pick which one of the big or small globes that I want to use for them. And then I'll paint the look of that plant onto the stone and the globe. We're going to start off with the rocks and get those painted. I think they will be fairly quick. These ones will definitely take a little longer. And I want to keep them clear, not fully paint them, so that you can see how much water's in them and things like that. So these are just going to get like maybe a polka dot pattern of what the plant is, or one big one, or something of that nature, while the rocks are going to have the name of the plant as well as a little design of it. So we'll see how this goes. This will be fun, just a little DIY little project to end the garden with. Ooh. Probably a little messy. Alright, so we are done making our little garden transformation. I hope you enjoyed watching along, maybe got a little inspiration or a little idea of what you can do with your balcony, small space, tiny living. But I'm very excited. I'll do the globes another time. They're definitely functional how they are, but the little signs for the plants and everything is super cute. I'm definitely no artist, but I like the way that they turned out. So I hope that you enjoyed. Thanks so much, and we'll see you soon. Stay positive.